Right, another Monday. Hang on, let's turn this off rather than down. New members, Andy. Hello Andy, welcome aboard. Hope you enjoy the videos. And what's this one? Russ. Hello Russ. Russ from up there in Scotland. Excellent stuff. So yeah, welcome aboard. You've joined us just about to sort out a DAC 10. You know, that's the one with the bush with the push buttons on top there. Quite a nice clean one this actually. The speaker's okay, the output transformer's okay, which is good. So basically capacitors, the mains filter capacitor, you know, the one across the on off switch, that first thing I do is disconnect it because there's all wax pouring out of it. Before you turn the radio on, cut that one out, just snip the leads to it, get rid of that, because if it hasn't blown up already it's bound to blow up as soon as you turn the mains onto the radio. So the radio's working. Problems with the push buttons cured by a little bit of that switch cleaner, no problem. Don't use, unless you really have to, don't use WD-40 near oscillator and aerial coils and trimmers and things, because this is oil and you don't want that on the oscillator coils because it doesn't dry. I mean, this stuff, switch cleaner, dries or evaporates. You know, you can spray it on you and that'll disappear in a little while, whereas the WD-40 is oil and it won't go out. So that's just about gone now. Look, nice smell that. Anyway, right, what else have I got written here? That's my wrong notes. Hang on a second. No, it's not. That's right. That's right. Sorry, that's what I'm doing. Typical Monday morning. Weather forecast for those that are interested. Cloudy and about 10 degrees. Bit of a project coming up. I don't know. Nothing to do with vintage radio. Well, it is. You know these Alexa things. I've got one. A lot of people have got them. You know, you say, Alexa, what's the time or what's the temperature or weather forecast? Well, a chap I know, a kind of friend of mine. I say kind of friend of mine. He is a friend of mine. He's got a vintage radio cabinet and he's stood it in the back of his cabinet. Okay, so you know his room, I think it's his lounge where it is. It's not modern. It's kind of, I don't know, 40s, 50s or whatever he's got, and he doesn't want this, you know, a cylindrical Alexa thing standing there. So he's stuffed it in the back of a vintage radio cabinet. So you know when he says Alexa, what's the weather forecast? It comes from the radio. Quite a good idea. He said to me, can I have the dial light going on the radio? So I said, well, yeah, I would probably do something with that. Apparently there's no chassis in this cabinet. I don't know where he got, what he's done with the chassis or anything. So I said, yeah, I can put a little power supply in. I don't want to get inside the Alexa thing itself. I don't want to take that to bits. And then he said, okay, I'll drop it all round to you. Then he said, can you make it so the dial light comes on the radio when Alexa speaks? And I said, well, no, that would mean getting inside the Alexa thing. Anyway, I've come up with a thing. I've ordered it from China. It's going to be 2 or 3 weeks. So there's a silly little sort of idea, a sort of gimmick thing that I'm going to do for this chap. So when Alexa speaks and gives you the weather forecast or the news or whatever, the dial light in this radio will come on. How about that? When she shuts up, the dial light will go off. Yes, excellent idea, I suppose. I don't know, I suppose. The thing is, if you've got a kind of 1940s or 50s room or whatever it is, even 30s or whatever, you don't want some modern thing sitting there, you know. It doesn't look right. Okay, right, what's next? Yeah, I'm about to change the capacitors on this. There's nothing particularly wrong with it. New mains lead, capacitor, you know, same old job, same old thing. I've tuned up the preset buttons. As I've said before, you've got to find out, well, you know, if you're doing this for someone else, find out where they live. This chap's just down the road in Hove actually, so it's not too bad. I can set it up on radio stations that suit this area. But if I was sending this, and sometimes I do, you know, back to say Sheffield or Liverpool or Scotland or wherever, then you want to set the presets up to suit that area. You've got to do that with your SIG generator and the frequency counter. So if you find like certain stations on, I don't know, you say it's Radio Scotland, whatever frequency that is on, get your SIG Jenny on that, tune this up on that frequency. You won't hear anything here, but when it gets to Scotland, you press that button. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Radio Scotland will blast out of the speaker. Do you remember the last DAC 10 I did? Intermittency on the push buttons, just the long and medium wave manual tuning buttons. Look, I've got my air purifier, just turn that off. I'll do the video. My wife came in, whenever she comes in here, that's not on, and she says, why is it now on? It was it's £100 apparently, not far off 100. Why now on? You're breathing in all this stuff, so I must remember to turn it on. Yeah, cutting on your new capacitors when you're fitting them in, you cut a little bit of the lead, excess lead off, a little bit got into the switches. Do you remember that? Was it last week, week before? Be very careful. This time, each bit I cut off and I put it on the floor. I should put it in the bin. That's another thing I'll get told off for. Flick it on the floor, each one, so you know where each bit you've cut off is gone. It's not in the radio, it's on the floor. There's all the old capacitors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. 10 old waxes there, all replaced. Brought up the volume considerably. Pretty good. What else? Valve bases. You hear that? Clicking, crackling. They need cleaning. Just about to lubricate the tuning mechanism as well. The volume control was very tight. Put a little drop of oil on that, that's freed that off. You need to be a bit of a kind of mechanical engineer with these radios, as well as electrics or electronics. Especially if you've got to start making up. Let's turn this down. Oh, that's better. And relax. Especially if you've got to start making up metal brackets, etc., as you do if you're replacing a Philips volume control, which seems to be lost again. I don't know. There it is. Look at it. I hate the thing. Anyway, okay, let's plod on. Something else that's important. On these in particular, the DAC 10, and a lot of other radios, I don't know why it was done, but the live, goes through the switch to the chassis. So the chassis is live. It's connected to your live. I've just put new mains lead on. I don't know why they did that. What I always do is I'll wire it so the neutral goes to the chassis, and I've got one of these meters. Can you hear that? It beeps. So I go there on the blue wire, neutral, that's on the chassis, and the live wire, nothing. Okay, I don't know why they did that. It was the same with a lot of the old televisions. They were wired up. Turn it on. Make sure it still works. Now I've put new mains lead on it. They were wired, with a live chassis, or as in the case of the DAC 90, the 90A, and a load of other radios with the 2 pins out of the back, you can put the connector in either way. Live chassis, neutral chassis. I don't know why they did it. It is most peculiar. On these, where every one I've had on the bench, the live goes to the chassis on the original mains wiring, mains lead. I don't know why that should be. Highly dangerous, of course. Right, here we go.
Where I stayed.
There's another thing. I've cured it now. Between stations, volume full up, slight hum, audio hum that is.
I had first had that experience.
On these, any radio, you get an audio hum, not HT hum, audio hum. You find that very often it's wiring near the wires to the volume control. Especially on these, the mains wiring goes very near the volume control connections. Move the wiring away. What you have to do is move the wires to the on-off switch. Keep them away from the wires to the volume control, because they'll pick up AC mains hum. So that's that, another little tip. Who was it said to me? I forget who it was now. Don, was it? I think it was Don. Hello, Don. Says writing all this down in a book. He's got a little, like an address book, with your ABC and all that. And he said he writes all these tips down. That's a good idea. But I was emailed the other day, and he said that his book, he said it's absolutely bulging now. He's run out of space with all these different tips. Oh, that's it. He said, can I have some tips beginning with X, Y, and Z, because those pages are empty. Right, a tip beginning with Z. I don't know, I'll have to think of some, Don. I don't know about a tip beginning with Z. I know about a tip beginning with B, back in the cabinet. This was perfect, working perfectly.
Down.
Right, everything done to it, capacitors, mains lead, everything done to it. Brilliant. Alignment, the lot. Back in the cabinet, it's very quiet. Very quiet and long wave, medium wave, very, very quiet. What's going on? IF amplifier valve, which was fine, decided to pack up. Well, almost pack up. So there we are. I mean, imagine if this is what I worry about. Imagine if that had happened. Chap only lives down the road in Hove. Next week, he's picked it up, he's got it home, you know, switch on. Oh, it's all gone quiet. Bring it all the way back here just for a valve, you know. Plus, it doesn't, you know, not a good reflection on me. Bit of paint there. Look. Anyway, look at that. Cabinet washed and polished.
Touring like that. You know, tension.
Right. I haven't put the back on yet. I daren't do that. It'll go wrong again. While I'm waiting for that to go wrong, Gordon, hello Gordon. Gordon emailed me. Can I help with a Pi P76 Bakelite cabinet radio? How to fix the chassis into the cabinet? I can't remember. I can't for the life of me remember. It's been quite a while since I've done one of these. And it's old age. Sorry, Gordon. I just can't remember. Here's some photos. What a lovely job. Another excellent restoration job. But how does it fix into the cabinet, the chassis? How does it? I don't know. Normally there are bolts underneath. I wonder whether there's anything missing. Yeah, it's an old one, that. I just can't for the life of me remember. But if anyone's got a Pi P76 with a Bakelite cabinet just like that one, let me know, and we'll find out how the chassis is fixed into the cabinet, and I'll tell Gordon. There we are. You would think, wouldn't you? You'd think, oh well, you just have a look. It's got to be obvious, but no, it's not. I've done this before. You know, I've come across a radio. How do you get the chassis out? Scratching your head. How on earth does the chassis come out? Especially Philips. Don't mention Philips. Always busy in the radio workshop. Look at this. This is a vintage valve radio. Actually, it's not. It's a Swan carpet cleaner. My instructions this morning were clean the whole carpet downstairs. So I thought, okay, I was told how to use this. You fill the canister, blah, 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 cap full of stuff, blah, blah, blah. You pull the trigger on the handle to release the fluid onto the carpet, then it vacuums it up. I've had to take the whole thing to bits because we haven't used it for a while, about a year, and the valve seized up. It's now freed itself. So of course I put the canister on the front. The sort of soapy waters flood the carpet. I poured it into the kitchen, flooded the kitchen floor, up onto the sink, all down the cupboards. Anyway, I think I seem to have freed the valve there. Valve, different type of valve, not your usual UL41, but that there was stuck. So I think now I'm going to put it all back together. I'll keep you posted. See, always busy in the radio workshop. Well, it's back together. The trigger seems to do something. I shall try it. I don't do carpet cleaner repairs, do I? Right, I've now cleaned the kitchen floor. No, I haven't. Well, yes, I have, because it was flooded. The thing works. I've done the whole carpet. Now I can't walk in the hall because it's wet. And plus I've dried the bench, which was soaked. Actually, that's cleaned the bench up a bit. Now I might get the carpet cleaner stuff on here. Right, John. Hello, John. John bought a Spitfire transmitter. A few things he's done, and it works really well. He's got rid of the mains power supply. I must admit, I remember on mine I had some hum problems. He's used batteries. Okay, so you can get batteries, you know, rechargeable, whatever, from eBay or whatever you've got. Batteries are good. The frequency, he found a clear frequency. Obviously you need to do that. And as he pointed out, check at night, because at night you get a lot of stuff coming in on medium wave. So check for a clear frequency. The little ATU settings, I found this as well, John, don't make any difference. They probably would do. If you had a sensitive enough meter, like RF sniffer, you could probably tune the little ATU things for maximum output, but it's such low power. You know, the stuff I've got for amateur radio gear, it won't move up until about, you know, till about 5 watts and above. So let alone whatever these are, 100 milliwatts. Another good point, John, a good earth. Yeah, earth the I mean, basically, as if you're using like quite a large medium wave transmitter. Treat it the same. You know, a decent earth, a decent aerial, decent power supply, clear frequency. It's just the ATU business. Doesn't, as John said, he's left it on the factory setting. Yeah, the little Spitfire transmitters are good, but you've got to get it about right. So yeah, thanks for all the info, John. That's interesting. Oh, and another John. Here we go again. Another John. Totally another John now. Nothing to do with the Swan SCW 3013 carpet cleaner, which I now do repair. I'll put that on the website. Carpet cleaner repairs undertaken. New member John. Hello John, welcome aboard. It's not usually this mad. It's what it is. It's worse. So hope you enjoy the carpet cleaner there, John. I'll be doing some tutorials on repairs of vacuum cleaners and carpet cleaners later. Now, welcome aboard, John. Seriously, great stuff. And thanks to the other John for the Spitfire information. I've got mine over there. I've not used it for a while. I must drag that out. DAC 90 just come in. Quite a nice one. Hole in the back panel as usual. Not a bad hole. Not a bad cabinet actually. Cloth's all pushed in here. That always happens on these, doesn't it? I haven't even checked it over yet. It's just coming. Main seat, look at that. Oh, there's a kind of, oh, I see. Okay, right. So that's something to look at. I've got to put the DAC 10 together. That's been on test for a long time now. I've just kind of left it over there to listen to it while I'm working. Brian, thanks for the photo. Have a look at this. What Brian's done is he wanted to add Bluetooth to a radio, and as I'm always banging on about, you know, without destroying the radio. That's the point. That's the whole thing. And this is what he's done. Have a look at these pictures. There is the little Bluetooth board. Okay, inside there. Just a couple of screws inside the cabinet to keep that in place. There's a power supply down below, wired to the radio's on-off switch. And the audio goes to the pickup sockets, the gram sockets. 1K resistor in each of the leads out, you know, the stereo left and right out, 1K resistor in each lead. As Brian points out, only do this on a chassis with a mains transformer, so the chassis is earthed. Don't do all this on a live one. But so you know, this is perfect. You've got no external stuff at all. You've not destroyed the radio. Switch to the gram position, and there you go. You've got your Bluetooth. It comes on and off with the radio's main on-off switch. So excellent, well done, Brian. Yeah, that is really good. I thought you'd all like to see that because I don't mention Bluetooth too much these days because you know, it's not really what we're talking about. We're talking about the vintage radios, but you know, I know a lot of you like to add Bluetooth because it really does then open up you know, all the possibilities of the radio. You know, you can listen to stuff, radio stations that you can't get on medium wave and long wave, and this is becoming a thing with the customers. You know, I do have to say to them, you bear in mind, you do understand that you won't get radio 1, radio 2, radio 3, classic FM. You won't get your local FM station because a lot of them don't realise, you know, they're not radio geeks like us. They don't realise that on long and medium wave you won't get classic FM or radio 2. Stuff like that. You know, I've had 1 or 2 recently where I say, right, there's your radio, it's all done. Oh, great, yeah, I like radio 2. Where's that? No, you can't get that. Oh, classic FM? No. Oh, and I think I mentioned to you, one chap was a little bit disappointed. He said, oh, I probably wouldn't have had it done if I'd known that. So, yes, there we are. So adding the Bluetooth is quite good. Look at that. 50 pence each. I didn't want them. They plug in, there's a USB, and they're little lights. They were 50p each at Dunelm. They were £2 each, reduced to 50p each. quite good. I don't know. I don't know why I bought them. I bought them because they were 50p each. This is how a workshop ends up full of stuff, junk. So yes, this one's next. Also, just had a record player in, which I'll put that on next week's video now. So is that the end? Been a bit of a short week. I don't know. There's always something going on, but let me have a little think as usual. Just one last thing. That's a little audio amp from China. Okay, volume control, little PP3 9-volt battery speaker. Okay, and that is the audio input. Well, what I've done is made that the aerial. If I could hook that up to my big aerial, okay, you're listening, not RF. You're not listening. You'll hear radio stations sometimes because it works a bit like a crystal set. Oh, here we go. Roadworks again. Here we go. Good grief! It's only 8:30 in the morning. Yeah, it's interesting. What I used to do when I was in my early teens, I had something like this in a box with a telescopic aerial, and I used to walk round the streets round town. You know, total nerd in my anorak. No, I didn't have an anorak. And funny things you can hear on audio. You put an aerial there. You can't do it with a valve amp. There's too much hum and stuff. But something like this, probably won't hear anything at the moment. Let's turn it on. Yeah, there is a bit of a hum, but I don't know. You can detect interference, put it near the mains and stuff. But yeah, there we are. You're a high gain amp and a little speaker. Put it all into a box and have a listen on audio, AF, not RF, with an aerial. Also, I used to years ago use it for listening to lightning. You get lightning nearby, you could hear on the speaker all this sort of stuff. There we are. It's all a load of rubbish, really. It's just good fun. Right, I will end it here because I'm going to waffle for the sake of waffling. See you all next week as usual. Thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.